What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Submission Fishing Live podcast. Another beautiful Thursday. What do we say? One more day closer to fishing for all you weekend warriors out there. And maybe just another day fishing for all the fortunate ones that don't have to wait. Hope everybody's doing good. Sorry I missed last week. I was out in Florida. I planned on doing the show, but we just had some... Man, it was a nightmare trying to get my house up and running, and then we had electrical issues. The internet wasn't working, man. It was just a big mess. So unfortunately, it didn't pan out, but Florida house is coming along. But it's good to be back. I know every time I miss a week, it feels like I've been gone forever. So hopefully everybody's doing good. Let's see what we got now. It's Benji, Butterknife Moreno. Oos, welcome to the show. Fishing Reps, welcome to the show. Special guest today, TV Metal Art. Todd, what's going on? You guys check out his art. I think it's Todd Burton art, right? Changed it up on Instagram. Check that out. Dave Rage, welcome back to the show. Po Kai, what's going on, man? Welcome back. Spinning Rod Rebel, Marvin, welcome. Colton C, welcome back to the show. Michael Tran, what's going on, man? 1904 Angler, Oos, welcome. Captain Dan, Oos, greetings. Dan, are you traveling or are you finally back in Carlsbad? Mark Yamamoto, yo, what's going on, man? Welcome. Glad you could join us. Andres, welcome back, man. Good to see you. Oh, Salt Lake City. Still traveling, man. Nick Morua, welcome. What's going on, dude? Dinks fishing in the house. What's going on, man? Jeremy A and Christina G, what's going on? Welcome. Maximilian, Oos, Stalker, Oos, welcome to the show. Joe Danseruyu. I know I've asked you that before, and I probably butchered it again. What's going on, man? Travis, what's going on, dude? Glad you could join us. Manny Fresh, welcome to the show. Jesse, welcome to the show. If you guys see everybody typing Oos in the chat, it just means that they've liked the show. So if you guys are on and you enjoy the show, please hit that like button. We got a good show for you today. We got Kevin Nakata joining us. You guys all know him. He's the president of Fishing Reps. He reps a bunch of fishing brands, Kicker, and... what else we got here? Submission Fishing, of course. Taipan rods, baits, reels, war baits. Oh, can't forget those. Surface sunscreen, lateral. Who is it? Lateral Vision.
Lateral Vision.
Joe Bags. Who else?
That's it,
man. But expanding. He's gonna be taking it over. Cave Dog, what's going on, man? I'll be listening on the drive home. Good. So yeah, he's gonna come on. So if you guys have any questions, let us know. And we got some Instagram questions. Kevin, he's also worked for Hobie and all that good stuff. You guys know him if you know the show. But if you are new to fishing, new to the fishing scene, you'll get a cool little introduction. Joe Escobar, Oos, what's going on? Let's see here if I have any more house cleaning stuff. If not, we'll get right to it. What do you think, Kevin? You ready?
Let's do it.
You ready to go?
Yeah.
You guys ready for this?
Do I go over there? Or you're gonna do your thing for a while?
You want some more time?
I'm ready.
He's in the studio. See, we're not doing the call this time.
I'm here.
He's here, man.
Rigging.
Ooh, Stanley Perez, what's going on? Welcome to the show. But yeah, if you guys got any questions, let us know.
Whoa, look at that. It's been a while since we've done one of these,
yeah, huh? Kevin, what's going on, dude? So what's new? It has been a while since you've been on the show, right?
Well, since we did this.
Oh, yeah, we did
this.
It was a long time ago. It's like focused on this, though. I think we did the in-person thing.
Where's the... Oh, there's the camera.
Long time ago. Yeah.
I've been trying to figure out where I'm looking at, because I look at myself and we're like staring off in the distance. Like
Switch it up a little bit. Yeah, that's good stuff.
There's questions in IG, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of people did. We'll get to your Instagram questions for sure, guys. So, but what have you been up to since you last been on? Rigging jigs, that's it?
Rigging things for our tournament this weekend.
So people that don't know, give us a little rundown on kind of who you are, what you do.
Oh, yeah. So what's up, everyone? I'm the founder and CEO of Fishing Reps, which is a sales rep group that puts all the products that we represent, which Mike just listed off. And that would be 8 national contracts that go around the country to all these fishing stores, specifically mom and pops and smaller stores, and some big ones too, like Tackle Direct and J&H and some big ones out there, and Tackle Express. And anyways, we're basically mediating the sale from you, the customer, and the brand in the store. And we are much different than everyone else because our business is structured around an e-commerce platform that I've developed over the last year. And basically, Mike's one of my clients that I push his product in the stores and recommend to them that they should be involved and purchase the product and sell it back to you all. So that's been the business for about a year and a half. And before that, I worked for Hobie Kayaks in the fishing department for 8.5 years. And then before that, I still own it, but I don't do anything with it. It's called Sea Samurai, which was a kayak fishing guide service. For 11 years, I actually ran trips. So
you did that for 11 years?
I did that for 11 years.
That's a long time. I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah, I started when I was 20.
So what happened with that? You just burnt out with it, or just wasn't?
No, I wasn't burnt out.
Lucrative, or
it as a business, it doesn't have the ability to expand to scale. It's not something you can fall back on when you're done and you're like, let someone else take over. It's not like that. It's all about talent. You have to have people that are like you, that can put fish on like you, that can think about things like you, and all the while still have a business sense to make sure that they take care of their clients.
That's a tough gig. I mean, because you have to be. It's called a professional, right? Where you have to be involved with it. You can't really train people. It's a lot like plumbing or anything else. It's a skilled thing that is kind of like you were saying. It's
reliant on talent.
It's what's the word I'm looking for? It's constricted by people there. You can't really expand with it. Yeah, that makes sense. It's definitely a specialty thing. I mean, people that do that, it's shout out to them, because you got to be something you really love to do.
Yeah, I mean, I love to do it. Yeah. It just wasn't something that I knew would be. I couldn't never do what I'm doing now if I never spent the time doing what I'm doing now.
Yeah, definitely put in the time. Well, that's how you build a reputation and stuff too. You get. So there's a lot of that, even though it wasn't maybe that lucrative. It's like you got to show your name in fishing, show people you know how to fish, and get that credibility and stuff.
Yeah, so exactly.
It definitely has its place for sure.
Taught me a lot.
Leonard, what's going on? Ooh, Salty Dangler, welcome to the show. Yeah, man, you got to master the trade, absolutely.
Oh, so that's how you share people's comments.
Yeah, dude, you just click it. See? Ooh,
that's cool.
That's snazzy, man. Kevin in person, yeah, man, we got him in studio, in-house. Yeah, so we got some news today. You guys know, I'm going to put the story in here, but you guys know those guys from Ohio? I guess they were convicted today. The two fishermen caught cheating in the Ohio tournament. They were sentenced to 10 years jail terms.
10 days.
10 days. I'm sorry, not 10 years. They got 10 days jail term, and they forfeit a $100,000 boat, which, what do you guys think about that? I know everybody saw that viral video of these dudes that were the stuff in the fish. If you check out the link, you can see them getting all pulled.
Those guys look like they've lost a lot of sleep.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
People are probably like, I don't know, they're messing around with them, man, trying to...
Yeah, 10 days, dude, that's all they got. Well, they had to give back a boat, but it's not like they lost cash, It's not even like a $100,000 fine. They just have to give a boat back that costs $100,000. But
well, I think the boat was from their Angler of the Year.
Oh, interesting.
From the year prior, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe one big event. It was one of the two. It was enough to make people upset, though, for sure.
I wonder how long they were cheating. Like, that's the thing, It's like...
Well, people knew that they were up to something. That's why everyone was, so... Like, they knew... If you watch the video, they're like, "How? We knew you've been doing this, like... when did you start?"
I wonder why it took them so long to cut open the fish, though. Like, it just seems crazy.
Well, yeah.
Maybe they didn't have evidence. Like, they could have cut them any time and checked them out,
I mean, how many tournaments have you been to, right, where people are cutting over fish in front of everyone? I've never seen a tournament doing that.
But if there was something suspect, I'd have no problem. If somebody was suspecting me of cheating and they wanted to cut open the fish, I'd be like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I don't think that would ease everybody's suspicion. You know what I'm saying? So if there was already accusations and stuff, I don't. That's my only thing. If why didn't they check earlier if people thought for months or whatever that they were cheating? It just seems like the response kind of took a while.
For the tournament that we're fishing this weekend, they're going to fry up the fish afterwards.
Yeah.
So they have no choice.
Yeah, me and Kevin are going to do another rockfish tournament And what's this one called?
The Southwestern Yacht Club
Southwestern
Rock
Yacht Club.
Cod Tournament.
Rock Cod Tournament. So, if you guys want to join, man, check it out. I think it'll be a good one. Yeah, TB Miller says they got surprised anytime. Yeah, and that's what's interesting too, is because I know a lot of people were saying like, you just think it's fishing, right? And that it's like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, but there's a lot of money involved, especially in like freshwater fishing. It's very lucrative, and especially if they're cheating. I mean, that's hundreds of thousands of dollars that potentially stolen. I mean, basically, it's fraud. I think that's
fraud,
that's kind of the charges. So you think 10 days for fraud? I mean, that's not bad. But I'm surprised they didn't get a bigger fine. It's interesting.
I wonder what the counts were, right, for the crime they committed. Like, what is it? Fraud. Does it have it on the article what they were sentenced for?
We can check it out here.
It has to. I mean, you know, they have a sentence for something.
We can check it out.
Unlawful. So it says plead guilty in March to cheating and unlawful ownership of wild animals, and agree to 3-year suspensions of their fishing licenses.
Yeah, and they also agreed. So they took a plea deal, it looked like. Oh, yeah.
That is what it says.
That's part of a plea deal. Yeah.
Wow. They had a good lawyer.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, dude.
Once the pair complete their county jail terms, they will serve a year and a half on probation and must each pay a $2,500 fine. No, that's nothing. Though half the fine will be waived if they each make a $1,250 donation to a nonprofit organization that promotes fishing with children. If they violate their probation, they could face an additional 30 days in county jail sentence. Yeah, according to the search warrant affidavits, 5 walleye containing lead weights and fillets. Officers from Ohio Department of Natural Resources confiscated the fish as evidence. They would have received a little over $28,000 in prizes for winning the tournament. So
that one tournament.
It's not one tournament. $28,000. That's
a lot of money.
That's a big. I don't know. That's a pretty big charge if you ask me. Like, that's a lot of money. Like, if you stole $28,000, I mean,
you probably do more time than that in jail. So if they did a plea deal, don't they have to give up something in order for them to get the deal? So what did they give up? They had to have some like information on something, right?
No, I think it just means you, instead of pleading innocent, you plead guilty so that they get a conviction and then you get like a lighter sentence or something like that. It basically saves the court time and stuff like that, so they don't have to.
Right,
you're pleading guilty to a lesser charge.
So they just walk in. They already know what they don't even have to.
I think the courts and stuff like to do it because then they don't have to have a trial and all that stuff.
Weak.
So it's like. Yeah, so they give you a lesser sentence. A lot of times they do the plea deals to catch somebody else, but I guess this is...
Well, so couldn't the trail, like the event organizers and the participants sue them?
Probably, like a civil suit. Yeah,
they probably could.
Works. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
Clearly we're not.
Don't take our legal advice. Ken Fishing Fool, what's going on? Welcome to the show. Good lawyer, more than what we have. More than what the boat was worth. Yeah, totally.
A lot.
It was a lot. Yeah, so I just thought that was super crazy. That was a news story. That was right before I went on when I was looking for news. Other news-wise, I don't think there was too much. Mostly just some of the bluefin. I think the bluefin cooled off a little bit. We had some weather change. You hear about that? Like the last couple of weeks.
The full moon is a little bit of also what people have been saying has been attributing to the lack of the bite.
You think it was the moon phase?
I don't know. I just...
Or was the cold weather?
It seemed like last couple of years, the full moon definitely threw the fish off.
Oh. I mean, that could definitely be it.
There, last year, it was quite frequent that the moon phase was not beneficial to these fish.
But it seems like it's picked back up a little bit. Yeah, boats were coming back last week, though, with pretty low limits, I think. Or not limits. I shouldn't say limits. They were coming back with low numbers. Almost no bluefin were caught, but I think the last couple of days have been picking up again. Yellowtail looked like they were still out. Rock fishing, obviously, still pretty good. It seems like nothing affects the rockfish. Is that just me, or is it like...
Well, because they can't go anywhere.
This doesn't seem like the weather, the moon...
You come in and say good night?
Or anything like that.
You want a cameo?
You bring in the cameo. So we had the baby in Florida, so she's been up all. That's on that East Coast time, huh? Wave to the camera.
Looking at Kevin.
Looking at Uncle Kevin.
Eyeballing him. So
Future,
look at yourself.
future fisherman, future captain.
Oh, whoa.
There we go. Right? That's crazy. All right, fat baby. Now she's been up.
All right, good night.
Oh, Dave, you went out. That's right, man. We had 11 bluefin on our 11 bluefin for 1.5
That's
days.
good size though, 70 to 150.
7 to 150.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, that skunk that hurts, dude.
Clearly, he wasn't using a submission fishing jig, or else he would have had a fish.
Right? What were you fishing with? Dave's a live bait guy. I know Dave Rage. One other thing, guys, we'll start getting to your questions, but this was a pretty important
That
thing,
yellowtail bite
which is-
too. Look right there. That question.
Yeah, we'll get to the questions right after this. The one thing I wanted to share with you guys, and I'll put the link in here too, is I don't know if some of you guys saw this, but there was a huge kind of victory in the CCA thing, or not the CCA, but the 30 by 30 and the CCA Cal. But basically, they agreed that they would not put any more MPAs into the 30 by 30. So that was a big thing that we were fighting for. You know, we talk about these things all the time about letting your voice be heard and stuff like that. But there was no separate process to expand or create new MPAs to achieve the 30 by 30 goals, according to Jen Eckerly, Executive Director of California's Ocean Protection Council, the regulatory agency heading up the coastal portion of the state's 30 by 30 plan, which seeks to protect 30% of the waters. So I mean that was a huge thing. Obviously, it's stay here. CCA had to stop the closures campaign, which I know on this show we were really hitting hard. So just a round of applause to you guys and everybody. I mean, that was huge. We talk about that stuff, but I mean, that's the things we fight for. Whether or not, it's just a verbal kind of agreement. Obviously it's anything can change. I don't think anything was in writing, but I mean, that's huge, you guys. We've already lost 16% of the water to the MLPA. So it's good to hear that they're not looking to expand the MPAs. I know that was a big sort of thing we were worried about. So,
well,
I mean, that's good.
Let me elaborate. So while the CCA and OPC have come together to explain what their position on the Ocean Protection Council, which was and is the administration or the organization, not organization, I should say that it's the appointed council by the governor.
Right.
That is OPC. It's a council that's the people are brought in by and put onto the board by the governor of California. Anyways, OPC has said they're not going to expand the 30 by 30, or sorry, not 30 by 30, but expand MPAs with 30 by 30. However, now they're saying that it's going to be up to the CDFW to decide if they're going to expand the MPAs by using data and information that they've acquired through the decadal review. So that is the new front. It's not OPC that's necessarily after expanding the areas, but it could be the CDFW.
Right.
So
that's good. I mean, that's a good. I feel like the CDFW is not as bullish on it as
that's
the environmentalist.
Right? That's who implemented the MLPA was CDFW.
Oh, interesting.
So no, I don't know.
They're all the enemy.
Yeah. Well, not the enemy. They just don't make decisions that are for angling.
But but the MPAs are up for review. Is that correct? Like
they should be. I don't think.
Isn't it every 10 years
it's
or 12
supposed to be
years?
every 5 years technically,
right.
But they did a decadal review to kind of satiate what people were asking for or demanded.
Because I know Wayne Cota was talking about that, right? Like we're really pushing hard to get a review of the land to see how it is, and it's almost like they don't want to review it because you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, right? Because they're going to come back and say, oh, it looks great, it's all working, but then we're going to be like, okay, well then open the fishery if it looks good and it's great. Or are they going to say, oh, it doesn't look good and it's not working, but then you have to go back and be like, well, okay, then why don't you open it if it's not doing anything? It's like I feel like they don't want to review it because either way,
You're right.
It leads to kind of like, well, then why don't you just open it to fish? You know what they'll probably say is just be like, well, it's looking good, but we need a few more years. It's looking promising.
Yeah, we
but
need more dollars.
Yeah, but it's not quite ready to fish.
We need more money for research.
Yeah, that's how it's going to go.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's too bad.
We just got to stay on it. That's all. Enjoy fishing and don't get down about it. You just got to keep going and that's it,
Yeah. Like Captain Dan says, man, stay vigilant, man.
Yeah.
You guys, we don't want to lose our fishing rights, so.
We did good, though.
I applaud everybody, that went out there and really fought hard for these things, man. You got to keep fighting if you want to keep fishing. There's some good wins, though. I mean, like, I think some of this rockfish stuff is pretty cool. They've been opening up, but I want to get that cow cod fishery opened up.
Look at what Arnie just said at the very bottom.
Oh, that's funny. Kind of, it's like the cow cod issue rebuilt, but yeah. That's what I was talking about, Arnie. Like, we've been going out rock fishing real hard. You guys have been seeing our Instagram; they're deep. We've been catching cow cod on every trip, and we're nowhere near the cow cod zone. So,
yeah,
that just tells you how healthy. I mean, like nowhere near the cow cod zone. And every time we go out there, we catch at least one cow cod. So, and they're big too. And we have, we send them down, of course, and we don't keep them. We don't even take them out of the water if we don't have to. But that fishery's fine. I can tell you that cow cod fishery's just from as us that are fishermen that are out there fishing. If we're finding them in non-protected zones, as abundant as we are, those cow cod zones must be just loaded with fish. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's gonna be awesome if they hopefully one day allow people to do it.
Oh yeah, Nick was right. Yeah, so the guy that introduced that is funny. The guy that introduced the whole bill, he got arrested for DUI. It was crazy, man.
Then that's a slimy thing too. The bill, because they're trying to get the governor's executive order NA 250, which is, again, that's a questionable thing right there, whether the executive order can even be a law, right? Because it didn't go through legislative process.
We talked about that last time, right? It failed the legislative process and then got put into a government order, right?
Executive order. Because, and he had it written and that was it. So now they're trying to get the executive order to become a law through going through legislative process. It's weird. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know how they keep coming up with ways to get around trying to pass laws, but they just make new rules all the time. It's crazy.
This is like the whole past couple years. It's like, what is it?
Trying to get
executive orders have just been out of control, man. It's been the new thing, and you're like, what the hell? This doesn't even make any sense.
It's not good.
All right, let's look at some questions. You say a yellowtail question?
There was one up there.
Joe, how was the yellowtail? How's the yellowtail bite looking in San Diego? Have they been out there? Kevin, what have you heard?
Patty fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're not going to the islands and getting the bigger ones, they're going to patties, and the patties are pretty good, and it's actually like a little early for patty fish, to be honest with you. It's supposed to be like next month kind of thing. But there's definitely yellowtail on patties, and they're some a little bit small, like 5-pounders, but there's some reasonably okay ones, 15s. It's all that patty stuff, so they're gonna eat.
Yeah, it was crazy because we went out. That was like a month ago, or I went out for bluefin, and they hit one patty, and it had we pulled like 5 yellows off of it, which was crazy. It was pretty crazy. That's early. I'm still seeing a lot. So even though the bluefin bite died down, the yellowtail bite still looked pretty good. They were still pulling pretty good numbers off the boats, so it's pretty good. I haven't really heard of them like close or local. They're always there, but it's like they haven't been going wild. At least not that I've heard of. It seemed like earlier in the season was pretty good, but they're still around.
If you're not fishing it, you don't know.
Joey Basson. Ooh, so what's going on? Yeah, because people don't really talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
If you're out there, especially in La Jolla, because it's such a small kind of fishery, people that fish yellowtail, they actually aren't out there advertising it all that much, because then everybody goes. What happens is once word gets out, it's like. So a lot of times when we hear about it, if you're not out there already fishing and you're getting word of it, it's probably already been a couple days and maybe even a week. And sometimes it's too late. So it's hard to say, man. That knowledge is hard to come by. Dave Rage says we had 11. Oh yeah, the bluefin. He said he wasn't fishing live bait, but he was too light. Yeah, dude, if only you got some 600-gram jigs that you could have brought with you. Could have got bit, man.
First one down.
I'm curious who makes those. Next time, Dave. Next time. Oh, man. That's funny. We got about 12. Oh, yeah, 12 on our trip. One smaller size, one patty. It's not bad. 12 on one patty.
Can you do a
Non-biting
poll in this while you're live? Can you, like, run a poll? Is that possible?
Maybe. I'm not really sure why you want to pull.
Well, I want to know how many people here are fishing for rockfish right now, and then how many people are fishing. What size jig are people using? I guess people can just say that, right?
Poor Dave Rage.
Ooh.
We shouldn't insult you like that. That's hard. So let's see. What's the Instagram questions we had? Actually, Jig Jockeys want to know. I think I answered this on the last show. Why is it called the low pitch rod? And he wants to know, will blanks be available or just production rods?
No, blanks will be available, I'm sure. You know, Simon's in the blank manufacturer, and we're talking about Taipan rods. I actually have one. Bring it over here really quick. There's a hook here, by the way, for your guests to get hooked on.
Keeps the child out.
I see. So this is a low pitch rod by Taipan. You can see the logo right here. Oops.
So is he selling those now?
He sold them at the Dana Landing event.
They're not
6.
really on sale, but he's. If you can get a hold of him, I think he'll make you one. Right?
Oh yeah. They'll be in stores soon. But one of the things that's interesting about this rod and why it's called a low pitch is because it's more or less there's actually a story behind it. You covered it great last time with Mary. Yeah. I think there's a reason also, though, and I would say that it's not exactly a slow pitch rod, but it's not exactly a long fall rod. It's kind of in between.
It's like in between. It's more powerful.
Yeah. It is different, though.
Yeah.
And
it's almost like more California-ish, like, because it's not like the traditional super Japanese noodly rod, but it's can still flick a jig, but it's definitely a little more stiff, which I think people out here will appreciate. It seems like when the West Coast guys try like a traditional slow pitch rod, it's just like it's too. I think it's too parabolic for it. It's too flimsy because it's so different to what we're used to using.
Yeah,
I think people don't like it just
they
because
don't like
it's
it.
so different.
Yeah, it's hard for them to get into it. I think maybe with bigger jigs, it actually would be easier for people to work with some of the shorter, snappier rods.
Yeah.
But with smaller jigs, especially like 220s, I think people have a hard time using that noodly rod because they just don't have confidence with that blank yet.
Nice.
But they'll go in a store soon.
Joe wants to know, how do you set up your Nomad Mad Max? I've never fished one, to be honest with you. Do you have a setup for that?
Yeah, we played with it last year when everyone was going off on it. I personally don't like fishing them that much because I like foamer fishing and I just want to get into it and cast. But they work.
That's like a trolling game, right?
Yeah, and people figured it out last year a little bit. You know, they took the rear. They come with 2 singles, so they started to put the treble on the back.
Okay.
An Owner ST66 or some bigger like the. They have an ST68, which is like their extra heavy like hook for a 5 or it's a 6X actually, the 68s, and the treble hook on the back's important because the single hooks have a tendency to tear out the hook away from the mouth of the tuna, so you got to use a beefier treble hook on the back.
Oh, okay.
And
nice.
then the other thing we learned was that you got to use a long, a little bit lighter wind on, like a 100 or 130, maybe would even be too heavy, a 130, but 100-pound wind on leader that's reducing the drag of the leader line cutting through the water, so you can get more consistent pulls with it. Driving or going when you're going that fast at like 15 to 18 knots sometimes. Seriously, like that fast. Like it's people go very fast with these, and they get bit. But if you don't go and have that lighter line, it tracks a little bit off. Some people say so.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. People are used
That's
to
interesting.
using like 200-pound.
Is it stiff like a speed jigging rod? No, it's very parabolic, but more in the top half. The difference is it just shuts off sooner. So instead of the whole thing being parabolic, it still has that soft, slow pitch tip. But as you get closer to the butt, it tightens up and it gets, it's like a mix, so it just shuts off sooner.
Imagine
so the whole thing isn't. It's just kind of almost like the half of it. The front half is like traditional slow pitch, but then it like really gets tighter as it gets closer to the handle.
Imagine your live bait rod, which would be like a 670, is classic 7-foot medium heavy power live bait rod. You know, it has shut off at like probably 40% down on the rod.
Right.
And then it goes into straight backbone. Imagine that on a slow pitched rod, and that's what you're getting. Yeah. It's very different. It's not a.
They are different. Yeah,
very different.
Sure. They're cool. Is it just me, or the traditional slow pitch rods are really comfortable because they're so parabolic? Is it just me? No, that's actually I guess it'd be Yo Speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got that old lead speak in there with the with the E's as the threes, but no, that is true. That is one of the things with slow pitch jigging, and a lot of people, when you talk about jigging, one thing that I used to hear all the time was that they'd be like, "Oh my God, it's so hard," because they're used to speed jigging. What they're used to is sending a jig down and cranking it as fast as they can, as hard as it can on a stiff rod, and it's like, yeah, that burns you out. Where slow pitch jigging, the purpose of the rod, traditionally the Japanese style, is that it takes, they're called like 0G rods. There's different names for it because it's the rod is doing the work and flicking it. So by design, they are super parabolic rods are designed to be more comfortable. So yeah, it's not just you. That is a thing. And once you learn how to use them, it's just such a steep learning curve. I feel like a lot of people, they just don't. They're so different than what we're fishing out here. That's one of the biggest hurdles we get over. Is like getting people to be comfortable with one. I think that's one of the things I've seen. So a lot of people are out there fishing them on like traditional rods, which kind of works. But you're not really doing yourself any favors. You're not giving yourself the best opportunity to get bit, I don't think.
I really like these rods that Simon's making. They definitely have performed very well over the last few weeks that we've been fishing them.
Yeah.
And I personally don't like an ultra parabolic rod because it just wears me out. It's just working the jig from the butt all the way through the tip. It just doesn't. It's not what I would have. I like the fact that he's made them a lot. They have a lot more shut.
They're a little more familiar. Yeah,
they are familiar. Yeah. That's the word.
And I think that's what people like about them. Mm-hmm. It's like it's a mix. It's like a hybrid almost, a little bit.
They're $349, by the way, $349, and that's what their retail is. And we're gonna get them in the shops.
Yeah.
If you have a shop near you in Southern California or anywhere else in the country, let them know. You can get one of these rods through fishingreps.com, and we'll set them up.
Yes, sir. Also, let's see here. We got some questions. Oh, Doc Stalker had a good question. He says, I saw it on here.
Alex just joined. What's up, Alex? Spotty at best.
What happened to it? He said, what? Oh, it looks like he had a few questions here. Any laws that favor kayakers or small vessels that we should know of? I saw you just got a kayak, right? Or I just saw that you got a kayak on Instagram. Yeah, actually a lot of laws. You actually pretty much have the right of way in most cases. It's one of those things where do you really, like, legally you do, but that doesn't mean people follow it, and you are in a more vulnerable spot in a kayak. Technically, right, non-motorized paddle and man-powered vehicles in the water have the right of way, right?
Yeah. Like
sailboats, kayaks. But that's not everybody knows the laws and not everybody follows them. But technically, you do have that that ability.
Kayak anglers also have, maritime laws like navigation lights and stuff like that are also in our favor. We don't need to have a Christmas tree on our boat. We don't need to have starboard and port lights for us to be able to be legal unless you have a motor. So when you're paddling or pedaling, all you need is one big bright white light, the 365.
Yeah, you don't have to have the green and the red.
No, green and red. That's another one. That's a good one.
And he also said, what can I use to defend myself when people say you can't fish here in certain areas when I'm on a kayak?
Ooh.
That's a good one. There is some of you guys might know. Man, there is a law.
It's on my article. If you go to Fishing Reps, you can. There's all the amendment.
Oh, yeah.
All the articles on there.
We'll see if we can find it. It's
Go to my website.
on the Fishing Reps. It's
You'll see.
Let me see here. He did write a thing. So basically, there is a law that you cannot prevent.
Go to articles.
Sorry, I'm gonna find it here. Sorry, you guys.
It's quick. It's scroll down. Scroll down. It's the one with the Karen hair.
So
Right
yeah, the fish with the camera.
Yeah.
Should I put it in there for him?
It's all the way they're right there. Those are the ones.
Okay, yeah. So it's
That's
California State Constitution, Article 1, Declaration of Rights, Section 25. So this is so these are ordinances and laws in California. People shall have the right to fish upon and from public lands of the state and in the waters thereof, accepting upon lands set aside for fish hatcheries, and no land owned by the state shall ever be sold or transferred without reserving in the people the absolute right to fish thereupon, and no law shall ever be passed making it a crime for people to enter the public lands within a state for the purpose of fishing or in any water containing fish that have been planted therein by the state, provided by the legislature, may by statute provide for a season, when and conditions under which different species may be taken. Was it Section 1? The right to eminent domain is hereby declared to exist in the state.
Scroll down and it'll tell you the article. That's 10. That's Article 10 and water section 1 through 7. So that covers if you go up to the first section, it kind of tells people a broad sense of what it is. The right of eminent domain is hereby declared to the state in this. Oh, thanks. Tall French is on navigable waters. That's like. So in that article, it tells people that essentially you can't close off like a marina by purchasing the marina. Correct. And telling people you can't go there because you own that marina.
Correct.
They still have to access the public water.
Yes, yeah. So basically, you have a right to fish anywhere in the ocean. What people get upset about is they say, "Oh, I don't know if you saw the video. This is why he wrote that article, right? When this guy came out and yelled at me, and I didn't leave. I wasn't going to leave. And this guy's called the police on people, and it doesn't matter. And he's like, oh, it's private property, and he was yelling and cussing. As long as you're not on their docks are private property. Their land is private property. Their marinas are private property. So you can't tie up to one. You can't fish from it. But if you're in the water, they do not own the water. Right. Plain and simple. Especially in the ocean. Like, there is no... Aside from naval zones, the Navy can kick you out of places, right, from the military, but there's no private ownership of water in California. At least in the ocean. Yeah. There are people do own ponds and fresh water. Like, you can buy a piece of land and put a pond on it. That person owns that water, obviously. But salt water, I don't think can be bought, when it's connected to the ocean. So that's just something you have to be aware of, in that just don't let people push you around, because everybody's going to act like you're going to hear. So you're a new kayaker. You're going to hear bullshit all the time. Like, people are going to tell you, oh, you have to fish 15 feet away from a boat. That's like a classic. Somebody made it. That's not true either. You can be 3 feet from the boat and fish because the boats are parked. People are going to tell you that. They make up these fake laws, but that's what I hear all the time, is that you have to be X 20 feet away, 15 feet away, X amount of feet away. That's not true. You can fish right under the boat if you want. It's obviously be decent if somebody's like cool about it or something. Like, I wouldn't be a dick about it, but it happens all. You're gonna hear that a lot. People are gonna be upset, but just try to be respectful about it. But you do have the right to fish. So.
People definitely get their way here because we cave, right? We're nice people, and sometimes it's okay to not be nice when you know your rights. I've been approached, actually. I've had an experience with Harbor Police because I got called.
From the same guy, right?
Same guy.
Yeah.
He called the cops, the Harbor Police, and they came over, and I pedaled over to them, because I didn't really want them to come in where I was, which already showed them that I was, I was aware of my surroundings and the surroundings of other people, and not trying to cause commotion.
Right.
So I went out to them and they asked me, "Hey, were you fishing over here?" And I said, "Yes, I did." And they're like, "Okay, well, we got a complaint." I'm like, "I know, I was within my rights to go and fish there." And then they go, "Okay," that didn't stop me from just laying on them all. I listed the rights just like I have in my article.
Right.
And then they went, "Oh yeah, okay, we know you're good, but And then after that, they go, "If you ever get called like that again, be sure to give us a call, because we won't come out. We'll know that it's
right.
basically that this is just someone complaining."
Yeah.
So, anyways, it showed that when you're just like anything, right? You get pulled over and you don't know what you're doing, and they can take advantage of you. They can. If you consent to someone searching your vehicle and they just go on in, that's on you, man. You don't have to do that unless they got a warrant. So, anyway.
Yeah, so just, I know it's uncomfortable and a lot of people don't. I think that's what created that guy over in, I forget which marina it was, but it's right there in America's Cup. But I think so many people just leave. That's why he gets like that, and that's why he gets his way. And that's when I didn't leave, that dude was like, he blew his top, and it's like, I don't give a shit. I'm not going to leave. And his reaction just made me stay. I just intentionally fished there then because I have a right to be there, and it just chapped his ass. He never came out again.
No.
And because I didn't leave, and the cops never showed up. I wouldn't even care if they did. There's nothing. This guy's probably called so many times they probably didn't even bother.
He probably watches your YouTube channel.
Yeah. But just don't be intimidated. I mean, the law is on your side, so that's one thing you have to remember. Even if they do call the police. Also, there's a law, and you should carry these on a little card. Mm-hmm. There's one law. It is actually illegal to harass fishermen and hunters. Now, technically, I think they have to prevent you from fishing for it to be a law, but they cannot do it. It's my understanding, like, these kind of laws were put in place because, like, PETA and stuff like that were, like, they were forming, like, human chains when people were, like, hunting and stuff. And so, like, they were trying to prevent actual hunters from going out and hunting. So, like, people aren't legally allowed to cut your lines. They can't block a section off from you fishing. That's actually illegal. So you have a pretty good rights to fish,
That's in the article, by the way.
Yeah, in the public. It's public water. Yeah, just remember that. We own it. They don't. Nobody owns the ocean.
No.
So your rights are good, dude. You're pretty much covered. Unless there's obviously military zones. It's a different story.
Now you can't step onto a dock.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. You can't touch
the structures are private property.
Right.
So just remember that. The second you're dealing with docks or getting on docks or getting a lure, don't get a lure stuck in the dock. So you got to be careful with that too, but just be careful around that
Be
stuff.
really good at pitching into docks.
Yeah. Go practice somewhere. And pitch into the docks.
When's the last time you actually went pitching in docks, by the way? It's been a while for you.
Since I've pitched docks for spotties?
Yeah.
It's been a while. I went out with Frank from Yak Ninjas.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe a month ago. And I hit the dock just like real quick when I came back. Got a 15.5 incher on my first cast.
Wow.
Right there on one of the pilings. And it was like, I caught 2 and then I went back in. But really fish the docks, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
To like target spotties and fish docks, it's been a little while.
Yeah. We used to hit it hard with spotty bull.
Yeah, dude.
Then we got busy.
Yeah. It's crazy. I'm at this weird impasse where it's like, it's hard for me to fish spotties when there's like so much other fish around, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
When you hear like the bluefin are out, when we got all these opportunities for big rockfish, the yellowtail, then the dorados pop off. Like, it's hard because you only got so many days to fish, right? Like, if I can fish one day a week, it's hard to it's hard for me to justify like going and fishing spotties. Like, I want to go out and like fish the big stuff, but every now and then it's nice. It's actually like, it's soothing sometimes fishing spotties, I think. Because, like, well, I don't know about you, but it's like, it's stressful hunting big fish sometimes, and it's like,
oh yeah, that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, it is, but sometimes it's nice to just rewind and be like, because I have done that where I'm just like, I'm taking the kayak out and I'm just gonna fish spotties.
Yep.
Even though I know the other stuff's out there, like,
I don't know, man. This rockfish thing, I know we talked about it since September last year when they told us about this, but dude, this is fun. Like, Probably
Yeah.
one of the more fun things I've done in a long time
It's like,
out here.
you wouldn't think rock fishing would be fun, dude, but slow pitch jigging for rockfish is like big rockfish. I'm talking
Big
about,
rockfish.
guys. Yeah, like
deep. Really deep.
it's super fun.
Yeah, 750 feet has been like our that's honestly the shallowest we fished, isn't it? Recently, we haven't even fished anything shallower than that.
We're going like 700 feet. What's funny is because we fished like 1,300 feet, so now it's like 700 feet. We're like, oh, that's easy.
Yeah, that's easy.
That's nothing. Like that's shallow.
Oh, look who's joined us. He's a little late, but he's in there.
Taipan rods. What's up, Simon? Dude, we selling some of your rods over here, man.
If you guys have rod questions, you might want to throw them in the chat and see if Taipan Rods gets back to you.
Yeah, seriously. If you guys have any rod questions, hit up Taipan Rods here in the chat.
Yeah.
That's who we were talking about.
He'll be fishing with us on Saturday, too. We're the three amigos right now on this tournament trail. So.
I am Denny Perez wants to know, why is Kevin so cool? And what age did he start fishing, and how did he get involved in the fishing industry? I think you touched on that a little bit, but
don't have an answer for the cool part.
Yeah. Well, I told him we only have an hour, so.
Oh wow.
We can't hit it all.
I started fishing when I was 2.
That's what you were saying.
But didn't you start young too?
Not that young.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't like serious fishing. Like I grew up kind of inland Empire. I grew up like just a couple times a year, like a sport boat thing. And then I fished lakes a little bit with my friend Carl. But I wasn't like die hard until I like moved down here.
I thought you
like
did the
San Diego.
Channel Islands though, and Cat.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah,
but that was like twice a year. That wasn't like, because I didn't live here. I didn't live by the water. But yeah, since I was a kid, did that probably yearly or twice a year for, sometimes more.
Yeah.
But definitely it was all charter boat stuff.
Oh,
not 2 years old.
We have a guy from the Gulf of Mexico.
Who we got here?
Kiwi Reacts.
Oh yeah, dude. Kiwi's.
Is he fish Florida?
He's a long timer here, dude.
Where's he fishing from?
We don't have 700 feet here in the Gulf.
He's talking about like Florida, Texas, Louisiana, right? He's somewhere over there.
I think you're in Texas, right? I could be wrong.
I wonder what it's like to slow pitch in like shallow water over there. I bet the speckled trout just go nuts on that
It's
stuff.
probably still pretty good. So yeah, 2 years old. You've been fishing. Was your dad a fisherman?
Yeah, but he and I shared like he didn't really bass fish until he and I started to do it together. Like I was really into bass fishing when I was young. Freshwater bass, not saltwater. I watched Bassmasters on TV when there was cartoons Sunday. My grandfather would record the Bassmasters. Bob Cobb was the commentator at the time. This old guy that would literally just tell people what happened. I remember watching a tournament. I believe it was Havasu. It was somewhere in Arizona, and they were fishing a pointer by Lucky Craft. It was the first time I've ever seen Lucky Craft on TV.
Oh, really?
This is like 97.
Yeah, dude.
This was a long time ago. I saw KVD.
That was like almost pre-internet days.
I saw KVD, like young KVD fishing, winning Bassmaster Classics. Like it was pretty different back then.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Point Loma.
Colton C says, "What docks in SD Bay?
Oh,
what docks to fish, or which docks did I hit? The ones that I hit that day, it was right there off Kellogg. Those are big fish in those docks, but they're rough sometimes. Like it's feast or famine there. It's like you get a lot of big ones, or you struggle. But dude, any docks, I can get them in America's Cup. Karen's over at America's Cup, but like any structure, dude, any docks, any pilings, just toss them.
I mean,
there's probably fish down there.
Leigh and I were fishing that hard spot.
Yeah, and then you found that wide. There was no docks. You just found underwater structure.
It's just
right?
open water. Yeah, with the hard spot on the bottom.
I was down by the bridge, right? Coronado.
Yeah.
Tidelands Park.
Every single like rock pile hard spot has been holding this year.
Yeah.
Really has. It's been very good for spot.
Even grass, like dump them in the grass. When I first started fishing the micro jigs, I didn't even fish docks. I was just throwing them in the middle of the bay on grass piles and stuff and getting bit. So it's funny now that it's like I'm always telling people to go fish the docks and the pilings, but that's not even where I started, like where I found out about them. It was just open water stuff. And then I actually didn't have really that much success at the docks first. But then it turned in. Now it's like, I'm like, oh, go to the docks and fish them. But I can't forget my roots. Like, you actually don't. They just go throw them in the grass. They work too. People have been slaying them from like the shore and everything. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
We had another
There are
question.
a lot of people posting about it.
Down in SD, oops, what's going on? Do any of the Point Loma landing sell submission jigs? Last time, invite to
Last
Rockfish.
minute.
Oh, last minute invite to Rockfish tomorrow. And with like a 400.
Dana Landing is still open. Oh, they're just about to close.
The Point Loma landings, none of them carry there. Dana's pretty much the only one down there.
They will be, I guess if you're going after a landing, they'll be open at 6, but if you're going to go to a landing and you're going to have to get on a boat early, then you won't be able to get them.
Yeah.
Try Dana Landing, though. They open at 6 a.m., and they are open at 6 a.m. So, they have 400s in store right now.
Yeah.
In the Ogres and the
They
Samurai.
do got the big stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Texas now, and it's been a year since I left SoCal.
Dang.
I see the sad face.
Too.
Yeah, you're not. Is Texas not? It's not up there with Southern California or what? What about the fishing? I mean, I hear fishing's pretty good out there. Different. Yeah, Spotty at best knows. You'll find them, man. You'll just. It's hard. It's like any dock. Sometimes they produce. Sometimes they don't, and then you go to a new zone, and it's just hit as many as you can. That's
Just and remember them.
Don't stop moving. Just pound them, and once you find them, kind of stay there. And once it dries up, go to the next one. But just, I think Jessica fell down. What you don't want to do is don't just throw on the same piling if you're not catching fish like 100 times. I guess that's my best advice. Just keep going. Give them 3 casts, and then move on. Remember Ron Franklin, the bass professional at ESPN Outdoors? I remember Dorf's fishing. Remember that guy? He was like sold like the spoof videos.
Oh, I don't
he would
remember
like
that.
fall in the water.
Really?
And stuff. I remember watching the commercials.
Bill
as a kid.
Dance, Orlando Wilson, Mark Sosin was really interesting. Have you ever watched his stuff before?
See, he knows.
Oh yeah,
Dude, the one with the police dock. I catch a fish there almost every time. Kevin doesn't want me to sell it, but I paddle over there and pitch it almost every freaking drop. It's like a spotty. That's the one I hit when I'm on my way back. I'm like, oh, guarantee. Right? And there's this one. I'm not going to tell you which one, but there's this piling there. It don't matter. You guys have probably all seen my videos. But there's like this one spot. It's almost the guaranteed fish. Like,
really?
Every time I drop. Yeah, it's crazy. If you watch all my spotty videos, I probably catch a fish there like every single time.
You have a lot of spotty videos, by the way.
Yeah, in my early YouTube days, that was like all I was doing was hitting them hard.
When are you gonna do the video edit of our latest tournament? The day that we were out there.
I had it. I've got it probably half edited, but then I had to go to Florida, so I kind of.
Well, now we're gonna have another tournament for you to edit too, so you better get on it. We have a lot to.
Well, if that one's better, maybe I can mix them. I can do them both too.
No,
do like a
two
super,
separate ones.
I can do like the mega.
So
video.
much fish on that video, even if it's 5 minutes.
That's true.
You guys, we freaking we had how many pounds do you think we had in that boat for?
We probably
30 fish.
We had over 100 pounds of fish.
No. It was way more than 100 pounds, Muto.
I guarantee it. Yeah. Of rockfish.
So didn't we do math? Right. We had
30 fish.
But we had 8 fish that were over 7 pounds.
Right.
So that alone, 8 times 7, right? That's what is that? 56? Am I math right? Okay, so that's just eight fish.
Yeah.
And then the rest were all like 3-5 pound fish.
Yeah.
So we had more than.
There's a lot of weight.
We had more than 120 pounds of rockfish.
We had a lot of meat in that boat. That was crazy.
3 guys.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, these were all Mexican rockfish, the Red Widow and the Boccaccio.
Yeah.
But
what's crazy is there was even like some, right, like the green splotch? Like every now and then you get one mixed in there.
That was just bait, though.
The chili peppers are there too. But they're not very big.
No.
The chili peppers are like smaller. But the Mexican rockfish and the Boccaccio.
They're huge.
And the cowcod. The cowcod are huge too.
I've never
Unfortunately, it's a heartbreaker, but it's like you got to send those back. But
I've never seen such big Mexican rockfish. It's insane.
Jesse knows what I'm talking about. The Dorf videos. Because this guy, he used to like put the shoes on his knees and act like he was like a dwarf or something, and he'd be like get yanked in the water. It was so stupid. I need some more of the 80 grams. Fish them in 90 feet. Killed it. Hell yeah, dude. Send me some pics, man. I want to see those 80 grams killed.
Wait, what? Oh, what were you catching? Ironfish?
Yeah, what were you catching?
Was he using the macaroni or the rainbow roll?
Which one do you want me to look at?
that one right there, the fish downtown with the 15G.
Oh, fish down and got 15 plus, a bunch more. My dad got a 17 and 3/4 on this one. Heck yeah, dude.
Dang, that's a big one. That's
Congratulations, dude. I love hearing that.
Yeah.
Makes my day. When I see people catching the fish, it's like, it's so awesome, man. That's awesome. Tell your dad congratulations. I've never caught a 13 and 3/4 inch spotty.
17 3/4, right?
17.
Yeah.
What did I say, 13?
Yeah.
I've caught a 13 and 3/4. I've never caught a 17 inch. Anything over 17, I don't think. Dude, that's really good, dude. That's what I'm saying. This year is like, I've never seen so many big fish this year.
Did you see Nick's too?
It's crazy.
Nick's weighed 3.6.
Yeah. That one that he caught, that was
8?
That was nuts. SoCal Fishing Squad.
Dude, that 18-inch fish that was like
Right.
bulbous. Like it had this giant belly.
That almost makes me want to go fish spotties just because it's like
They're doing weird
for
big
some
things
reason
now.
I've never seen so many big fish in my life.
I wonder if they'll get bigger next year, right?
I don't know.
Their growth rate changes a little bit when they get that big, but
Because they're supposed to slow down, so you would think like all these years it was like a 16 incher was like big.
the biggest one they get.
Now it's like just within a year's time span, it's like 16 is like nothing.
well,
Which is weird.
It makes you wonder why there was a world record caught that 4 point whatever the IGFA, right? The record. Why was there that kind of fish then? And we don't really see those all too often now. I mean, I guess people
a lot of
catch
people
them.
were harvesting. That's what they were saying. Like people were eating the spotties because they used to be 12 inches to keep, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, now it's 14. Huh.
And now there's like a stigma to eating spotties, but I don't think it was always like that. I still see people catch them.
That's totally makes sense what people are saying because it's the same thing with freshwater, right? All these people. Did you cover that in a video yet on your stream yet?
No, I don't fish freshwater, dude.
No, just talking about
the
like, the imbalance.
I don't know anything about freshwater.
The imbalance of population,
right? Because now the bass are huge because people are
not
throwing
huge.
it back. All right,
they're getting
getting
stunted because there's an overpopulation of bass.
Oh, okay.
So the more
I think
fish,
Coach talks about that sometimes.
Yeah, the more fish there are,
he
the
thinks,
less
he
likely
thinks we
they'll
should
get
be
big.
he thinks we should be taking more bass out because
100%.
That's interesting. So the idea is they're destroying the ecosystem because
on each other
because nobody.
There's too much competition.
Catch and release got so big that now it's sort of a problem.
Yeah. Because people are returning the fish to the water and creating a greater population of fish instead of culling fish.
I see.
The fish have more competition between each other. So there's not enough food to be shared between all of them.
Right.
And they basically stunt their growth.
Interesting. But probably makes them easier to catch though too, right? Because that's sort of what we run into with like.
Yeah,
because they're hungry and they're less food. So when they see, that's like when the pelagics out here start competing, the bite gets easier.
Right.
Like when the bonito and everything roll in, the dorado get easier to catch because
there's nothing.
Now
left.
everybody, the yellowfin are eating, the bonito are eating, the dorado are eating. When it's only one species, they're harder because they just eat all they want and they're not hungry. But like when the other species start coming in, they seem to be easier to catch because the bait gets thinner.
Hopefully we see that same stuff that we saw last year.
It's supposed to be an El Nino coming in.
I don't know, man. I hear that every year
right?
now.
That's what I'm hearing too. And everybody's already talking about, the wahoo again. And
I think that's a pipe dream. I've been hearing albacore this, blah, blah for so long. I don't even care anymore. I'm just going to go fishing.
It's going to happen. And statistically, right?
Bring out the crystal balls.
One of these years it's going to happen.
Bring them out. Crystal ball it every year. Yeah. Let's make it happen.
But it's already, fishing's pretty good. The patty fishing's good. The yellow or bluefin are already here. Early too. Yeah. The rockfish.
Dude, we're gonna be rockfish nerds for a whole year, I feel like.
Yeah, we're gonna go smash some more rockfish.
That rock fishing is fun, dude. People are really, if you aren't dropping or don't have an opportunity to drop down, what's up with Dorf, dude? I'm going to figure out. I don't remember that guy.
Just YouTube it, dude. It's funny. It's just, they were like parody videos this dude did. I remember seeing like the infomercials to like buy his tapes. He was like, Dorf goes fishing and buy it now, 1995. That was like what it was. I never actually seen the video. I only seen the commercials.
It comes on at 11 at night.
Yeah,
no one's watching.
It was like stupid stuff.
Nice.
We say the spotted bay bass in the deep spawn. They pull off all the docks from Embarcadero and Coronado once the temp hits 61 degrees or so. Yeah, then they group up like sand bass over at Coronado.
Joey's been having a year too.
Damn, some good advice, Joey. Yeah, Joey's been killing it. Coronado's always got fish, but they're not always big. That's what I've noticed. Like, it's a good place to catch right there on tidelands. Like, you just go out and take a left, or even like you just go a little bit straight. All that grass. There's like a drop off there. There's always a ton of fish, and then the nursery too at the other end where that protected reef is. I always catch fish there, but you never want to go there for like tournament fishing because they're usually not big. Like, if you want to take somebody and catch a lot of fish, in my experience, that's where you go if you just want to have fun. But I wouldn't go there.
Tons
of
fish.
If I'm trying to like catch big ones, I haven't had much luck there.
I don't know, because that video that Lee and I did, we caught some legals there.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. I was surprised about that.
There was some good fish there.
That was surprising. He says it's weird with 16s. But yeah, it's cool though.
16s are becoming more common.
They are, right? But I think just a year or two ago, that was like, you're like, dude, you got a 16-incher.
Did you see the limit that, I forget who won, and I'm terrible for not remembering the person's name. Did you see the Alamitos tournament from Spotty Bowl? Did you see the win? 81 inches.
Oh, really? I didn't. Wow. Was that a record? Is that a Spotty Bowl record?
It better be a record.
Wow.
Salty should confirm if that's the new record.
Wow.
But I watched a bit of Roman's channel last night, and I was like,
that's
wow,
nuts,
dude. Like,
that was crazy.
81 inches is crazy.
Too much catch and release. Yeah, isn't that crazy how, like, we think we're doing, like, a really good thing, but it's not always, like, the best thing.
No, it's not the best thing.
It's hard to have an educated public, though, to, like, know when to keep them, when not, like, when we should be pulling them out. You know, it's hard to say. It's really hard to say.
I mean, that's what happened in, there's actually, like, lakes have they usually have, like, a rotation. There's, like, dead years, and then of those fish that died, basically the strong ones remained, and then they grow into their, these 20-pound giants because there's hardly any fish competition now. But there's, like, this cycle. There's a cycle in time between each phase of, like, these world record fish that exist, right? For many different reasons. Maybe a trout plant is the reason, or whatever. Right. But there's always been, like, a cycle theory that these lakes go through phases that produce larger fish during certain parts of the cycle. So maybe this is one of them for spotties. I don't know. I will say,
it definitely is, I think.
I've caught a lot less really tiny ones in San Diego Bay in this year than I have in other past years. Like tiny. I'm talking like 8 inches. I'm not catching much of that anymore.
Right. They're almost all like 10s or 12s, yeah.
Like fish that are reasonably sized. You're not getting tiny ones like you used to, but I don't know. Maybe they're all growing up.
It's definitely weird. It is definitely weird. Based on just trends that I've seen, it hasn't been following the years past.
We have to go up and look at what Ironfish said of what he was fishing the 80 gram with if he's up. Did he comment?
Calicos on cast and retrieve.
Oh, there you go.
That's the magic, dude. That is the magic. Yeah, I'll cast it, let it fall, then I'll retrieve it to the top, let it fall again, retrieve it to the top. That's a good technique. That's awesome, dude.
Mike Brown, that's the guy that won. 81 inches. It says down there, Salty. Right there, Mike Brown. LA record. SD record is 78. Okay, so the all-time measured record is 81.
Yeah, average 15-inch fish that day. Yeah, that's crazy. Largest was 17.75. Like, that's crazy.
Dude, that's crazy. Freaking nuts.
That's crazy.
And I guess he smashed because, like, he was posting about it on his Instagram. The dude smashed
even
fish.
Before the results. Yeah,
he didn't mess around. He was on him pretty big. Like,
he already knew he knew he was big dicking it already. That's awesome. Is that why the trifecta kicker pack works?
Oh, maybe. I think they just they loved eating each other. Like, every fish does it too.
Yeah,
they're all guilty. Like, their largemouth eat themselves quite a bit. I'm sure spotties eat each other quite often, and people don't realize because they're in the same environment. All these fish are in the same place. So if a baby spotty's right next to them, and there's a 17-inch fish, that's looking at a 4 to 5 inch spotty, that's dinner.
Right. Yeah.
That's not their friend.
100%. When you said, how about the amberjack? Is it coming back? I think it's yellowtail, right? I think it's the same.
We never
fish.
had amberjack out here. But that would be cool to get it out
What's
here.
the difference between an amberjack and a yellowtail? They're very similar, right?
They're same.
They're almost the same fish.
I don't even think they're the same family, but they are
Isn't a yellowtail an amberjack?
A
I thought it was
yellowtail-
or a king jack. There's
Well, they call them kingfish.
Kingfish
they
in
call
Australia,
them, anyways, I think you could argue that an amberjack is closely related to a yellowtail. Yellowtail is closely related to amberjack, however you want to say it, but they're very similar. I don't think they're the same species, like they don't, or the same family.
It's like rockfish, like one fin is different, so it's
Yeah.
a different. Like,
Yeah, because I know that Seriola lelandi is the genus species for yellowtail, but I don't believe it's Seriola for amberjack. So
interesting.
totally different animal, and I think they're classed differently. But anyways, I'm sure they're more closely related than anything
Yeah,
else.
probably. Let's see what else we got here.
Sandbass, SD Bay, any tips? Sandbass. That's on you.
The rockfish. What's that?
Right there above it.
Sandbass, SD, any bay tips? Oh yeah, dude. That's.
Just watch the video. The one video.
I got a few where bigger jig. Don't be afraid to throw bigger jigs. Throw your 10, 15 grams. Don't even bother with that. I would say at least go 60 grams, sometimes even bigger, and sort of that 40 feet of water range. Bait barge is the way to, like, sometimes it produces, sometimes it's dead and they just don't want to eat, but when it's on, it's on. Try to throw them. I try to get as close to the barge as I can and almost throw them under the barge if you can get it. That's the key. But also, like, around like those buoys, like the floating, there's a cable or a rope that attaches to an anchor down at the bottom.
In the middle of the bay, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's actually structured. And I've caught a lot of good sand bass. Just go up to where the sea lions are. They're sleeping on it usually, but just toss one out there and drop down. And sometimes just video game fishing right on the shelf where it like drops off. You'll see it go from, like, especially out Kellogg, it'll go really shallow, like 16 feet, and then suddenly it'll drop to like 40 feet. But right there in like that cut, if you just see any marks, is drop one right on its head. But yeah, bait barge has fat ass sand bass because they just eat all day. They eat the bait. It's all the shit that falls, all that stuff. But sometimes it doesn't produce.
Would you
But
fish
it's like,
the 80 gram?
I can always pull at least one or two out of there, even on slow days. If you're patient, just keep hitting it. Yeah.
Would you fish the 80 gram ogre now?
Oh yeah.
That's
Dude,
the mackerel one?
100%. Yeah.
The macaroni?
Yeah.
That is a bad looking jig, man. That thing looks... we sold like so many of those this last weekend. People were all over that.
That shit is pretty sick.
Do you even have any more?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I think we've got quite a few.
We need to see that macaroni color in the bigger sizes too, by the way. The 400 gram ogre would be dope.
TB Miller, longest 80 plus, gets a custom engraved mirror. Nice, dude.
80 plus limit? Well, there's only one person with the 80 plus.
Mike Brown getting it. That's awesome, dude. Better get out there. No sheephead in San Diego. Really? Did you go fishing for him? Todd's protective about his sheephead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, guys. No. Definitely don't go to the edge of the kelp in Point Loma and by the pipe. Definitely stay away from the kelp, guys. There's no sheephead there. Definitely do not bring shrimp.
Look at what this comment is.
Which one?
Right
Benji's?
there.
Amberjack were very present in the South Bay in the early 90s. Really?
What?
Back when they were poor man's tuna. The amberjack? I haven't heard that.
I need pictures. Where's the Kodak?
So they look like it, but they don't have the yellow.
Where's the Kodak photos from back then?
Yeah, dude, we need to see the Polaroids. In the 80s or the 90s hair. We need to see the mullets. I haven't heard that. But
I've heard of...
You could be right.
Jack Trevally back there. From
Really?
the ballast water.
That'd be crazy.
from the ballast water of the ships carrying the larvae over, and then when they release their ballast over here,
Really?
all that stuff. That's why there's bonefish. That's kind of like what I heard was the
interesting.
reason why there's
Those
things
are
back
fun,
there.
dude. I've caught some of
Bonefish?
those. No,
The jacks.
Yeah, we caught some of those in Florida, dude.
Oh yeah,
they fight.
did you
dude.
see them blowing up and stuff
Yeah,
too?
there
Oh,
was
they're
like,
so nutty.
They were there, and they were the ladyfish, and it was like right when they hit the water. Yeah, it was like
It's insane,
It
dude.
was cool, and we were like 10 feet of water. It was like right there in like a little inlet. Yeah, it's fun as hell. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, Jack.
I didn't hear that. That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, that's like the whole thing with the Corvina, right? They came in, but those supposedly came in with an El Nino, and then just never left. And they had habitat here now, which is cool. Okay, I got an 80 gram last weekend. Do you think I should drop it in the deep parts of the? Yeah, dude, 100%. If you want a big, you can get the little sand bass like sometimes around docks and stuff, but go deep, dude.
You probably
Sand
get
bass
spotties too.
Yeah, I've caught in big spotties in like that 40 feet of water, but because the bay doesn't get that deep, so go ahead and drop it. Like San Diego Bay maybe gets 50 feet, like in that center part, but yeah, dude, 100%.
Probably halibut in that zone too right
Yeah.
now, pretty big time.
Yeah, yeah, I would definitely drop it there.
There's a good question because we got it in our hands. I'm gonna go grab a 400 and 500 gram.
Jinx hook size for the 400 and 500 gram. Is this one of them?
Yeah, here's the pack.
Kevin's gonna go get one for you. But yeah, these are a lot of like what we've been using. Kevin threw on these. He loves these little squid tassels. But basically the mustad, the jigging we use these for tuna too. They also work for, I don't know, it's got that holographic thing. It's not that good. Mustad, jigging assist, saltwater game special. These are pretty big. These are the 6/0. We use 5/0, 6/0, 7/0. They're pretty decent size. Like I said, they don't come with the squid. We added those for rockfish, but they still come with some flash with like a little piece of like skin, like synthetic skin. But that's pretty much what we've been rigging them with. I also use it's like the BKK makes a big game hook as well. That's got like feathers and stuff on it, and that one's been pretty good. But these mustad, they're tried and true, dude. They work for tuna, for rockfish, pretty much everything. And I know they look big, but don't worry about it. They eat them no problem. Cabin Boy, Oos, what's going on? Welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. Yeah, man, but it all depends what you're fishing for, but mustad's good. They're like the de facto. I think he's got some rig jigs here. Oh yeah.
Probably enjoys.
You can show us how to rig them, or you're just gonna show the jigs?
I mean, we can show how to rig them. People asking?
Well, these we're talking about. This is a 400 gram. Is that the Samurai? Oh. 400 gram ogre.
Now we've been fishing the Samurai.
Yeah, we've been having a lot of luck on the rockfish with these. This one's right here.
On a flat day.
And then the blue. Oh, this one.
I'm pulling it up.
We're giving you guys some secrets right here. What we've been slaying with. I think it's what you won the tournament with, right?
Yep.
Was on this one, the blue. So the thing about the blue is the entire thing glows. So, like the purple one doesn't have any glow on it. And this one has glow riffles on the back. But this one, the whole thing is illuminates. So even though it's like darker blue, it still glows through the blue, which is really cool. And this is one we've been smashing on. This with the tassels on the back and the 6/0 mustad hooks, and they're perfect because they kind of cover like half of the jig on each side. Kevin likes it because he says the tassels slow down the fall.
I can't. Anyways.
I kind of like raw dogging it, but I'll fish the tassels too. Is fine.
Well, by raw you mean these still. You like
By raw dog we mean
the fresh.
This is the fresh ones without the hooks. And people were asking me about the squids. You can buy a pack of the squids.
Yeah.
P-Line makes them.
This is the pack.
Dave, who is
Danielson.
this? Danielson.
Nice and cheap.
They're super cheap. They're just plastic squids. They just go over the assist hooks. You can find these anywhere. Because a lot of people are asking about that. We don't actually buy them like attached. So you get the must add, and then you can add the little squids to it. And that's been kind of the magic. Hook them up on each end. Wear them as earrings.
Yeah, so it looks like... Put it up there. Put up the tassel. Put the tassel up. It looks like that. But we put split rings on. I just don't have split ring pliers. I dumped all the split rings out just now. Did you see that?
Yeah. Heavy duty split rings.
So
is the key.
I think
don't show my favorite color, Goldilocks. Oh yeah, you like.
That's why I did the little
the gold.
I got it right here. I mean the.
Yeah, that gold is good too. Yeah, that's what Simon, were you fishing that gold the whole time? That one was good too.
So we should tell people our thoughts behind the ogre versus the samurai. And I mean, you have your theory, right?
My what?
Your theory behind the ogre versus samurai.
What, the difference?
Yeah.
Well, it's not a theory. I mean, I
Well,
know why they're different. there's
Okay.
tangible differences with them. Yeah.
But I'm talking about our experience on those rock piles now with the two different ones. Because you were using the ogre last time. We've used ogres regularly between all of us.
And they didn't do as well as the samurai the
Nope.
last time we went out.
Last time the samurai was the one.
Correct.
And we all switched over to the samurai because it was tournament time
Right.
and we wanted to
Right.
win.
Yeah.
And that's what got us the win, was because of this. We think and we believe. But I think the ogre is really good in really windy conditions to get straight fast, because I think it sinks way faster because it's so
like
slender.
It's like a rocket.
It's
dude.
a rocket. So it gets down
Fast.
super fast. It still flutters really well when you actually pitch it, right? When you give it complete slack,
When you lift
then
it and
it
go.
does the... It's a little bit faster still when it falls, but...
It slides further.
It
It'll
slides,
go.
yeah.
Right.
So the samurai, I would say almost has double the fall rate. You know what I'm saying? Or sorry, half of the fall rate. Or something close to, because that samurai falls
It's slower.
really
It's
slow
slower. Yes.
for its size.
Yeah.
So, but the ogre is great to get down in windy conditions when you are potentially going to have a lot of scope.
Right.
When you got, it's really hard to figure out your camera, by the way.
We're backwards.
Yeah. Scope, right? This is your boat here. This is the rock pile. This is the angle of your line over the rock pile versus the boat here, and this is the rock pile, straight up and down.
Right.
You want to be straight up and down.
As much as you can. As much as possible. Yeah.
What are you going to fish on
But
Saturday?
they have different falls. It's like the samurai. Yeah, we were getting crushed on the rockfish, but this was just like the ticket. It's got a more, I think, horizontal fall, and it twists
like that,
and it kind of
fast,
flutters like this. Where the ogre will actually, it'll come up and it'll slide sideways. But that's why we make the two different profiles. Same thing with the samurai. Same thing with the assassin and the sumo. They're both 20 grams. They both serve the same purpose for fish, but the different profiles produce totally different falling bait fish styles. Same thing with samurai and ogre. They're both 400 to 600 grams, but the profile is so different. They produce different falls, and sometimes it's like when it's ogre time, it's ogre time. But sometimes when it's samurai, they'll eat. Seems like one size and one different action, and then you stick with it. And
we've caught big fish on both, and there was different conditions when we were catching them on either one or whatever.
I think the cowcott I caught on the ogre.
Yeah, you did the last time.
Yeah.
Well, one of them.
Yeah. We were looking for the beast. The
beasts eat the big jig, and we fish 600 grams pretty standard now on these things. I think the 400...
I eat it no problem. Have you guys seen the mouths on these things? It's like, it's tiny. Like, this is nothing. Because you can fit like 2 fists into these fish's mouth. It's not a big deal. So
I think we catch bigger fish on the bigger jigs. Obviously, we don't have a choice with 400 to 600 grams. They're still huge. Like, we're catching bigger fish because of them, because they're bigger profiles of the lure.
Doc Stalker says, is it better or smoother to use jigs on a spinning reel? I only use spinning reel for the small stuff, so I think it is. The idea is that the line comes off of the bail faster with micro jigs, unless you're using right. People are getting into the bait finesse system, the BFS reels that spin faster, so that's the idea. But if you just have a traditional bait caster, I don't think a 10 or 15 gram pulls enough line fast enough off of the reel. Where spinning, you don't have that issue because there is no resistance at all. It just pops off of the bail and it makes it a lot easier. So when I'm fishing the bass for the micro stuff, I do like a spinning reel.
Me too.
Deeper, now I go conventional reel.
I think I would fish a spinning rod in up to like 150 feet. I think that's where I would kind of stop myself.
Yeah.
Because I do like that free spool on it.
It is nice.
It is nice.
Because it just falls right off. One of the...
I can't do it.
One of the things though too is like, because like the spinning reel, it gets the line off the bail quicker, but that doesn't really matter when you're fishing deep because you want to get to the bottom as fast as possible anyways. But you're still having to thumb the line. Like you don't want to free spool it down, so the spinning reel doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to just let it free fall and flutter all the way, so you want to control drop it. And then once you get to the bottom, you're jigging it anyways, and I think spinning reel kind of becomes moot. But for docks, yeah, where you want it to flutter all 20 feet down. Perfect.
Yeah.
I think it's perfect.
I think that's I don't know. I think that for me, that's been when I fished it in the bay, because I went through a spinning rod, made me fish it better. You know what I mean? Because I got more action out of it. I got less action when I was fishing the... Anyways, that's my personal opinion.
No, I agree. I like spinning for... The BFS is different. That's kind of like the next best thing, I would say. The 10, 20 gram, is it better, smoother to throw? Oh, sorry.
Did you just
answer that?
It's been a long day.
Did you answer the question twice? Oh, yeah, I think you did. It's all good. But I've been bit on the bait casters and stuff, so it's not like extreme necessity if you don't have one. On stock reels, yeah, like Salty's saying, you can tune your bait casters for a better free fall. So the moral of the story is, the better the free spool and free fall, the better off you're going to be. So if you've got a BFS or you've got like a tuned, like Salty's switched out bearings on his bait casters to get it to fall really fast, then you're in good shape. Yeah.
You just revealed one of his winning secrets right there. Uh-oh.
Yeah, what is it called? He tells me the name of the bearings every time.
Oh, there's the split ring. I was wondering why. I thought there was 8 in here and you took one.
I can do some live.
I'm trying to make it look good. You have split ring pliers down there?
Pluggers here? Maybe I don't.
Oh well, I give up.
We tried. We tried to rig it, but Kevin failed.
Yeah, failed the task.
Hey, you guys got any more questions for us? Damn, it's been an hour and 30 minutes already.
The last couple of ones
crazy.
you've had have been very long.
Yeah, whenever I have guests, they tend to run longer. I mean, it's hard for me to just
shut up,
talk to myself for an hour straight. When you have more people, you got 2 people talking, 2 different ideas, 2 different opinions. It's a little easier. Let's see. Butter knife Benji. We could talk about Benji's name.
Yeah, why did he change? Why did he change it?
He changed his name because I went out fishing with Lane and Benji. So we went out. Was it 2 weekends ago? I took Lane and Benji out on my boat and we caught some, I think a skullfin or something, and I was gonna keep it. Or it was some rockfish. So Benji hands me a knife and he goes, "Oh, here you go, Muto. Here's a razor sharp knife." This was the dullest piece of shit I've ever. I couldn't even puncture the skin on the fish. And I was like, "Benji, what? This is a butter knife, dude." It was pretty. I couldn't even get it in its neck, dude. I had to try so hard, and finally it went through, and it's and then I was trying to cut down on the gills. It didn't even cut, dude. Benji brought a butter knife. He told me it was razor sharp, and it was that's why he got the name. We started calling him Butter Knife Benji the whole day.
Dude, Benji.
Benji.
He just
dropped 50 bones. Damn, I'm gonna have to give you another boat trip for that.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome info tonight. Now, thanks for joining us, dude. I'm glad you got something out of it. It was cool fishing with you a couple Saturdays ago, dude. That was fun. We went fishing at it. It was pretty tough.
Yeah.
That's when what it was like. That was in that off time where everything, which is interesting because all the bluefin shut down. That just was a bad weekend, man. Everything was just kind of shut off. Which is funny because we still probably got over a dozen fish. And just show you like how spoiled you are, right? Because I still probably caught like 6 fish or something like that. And it was like, oh, it's a slow day.
Yeah.
It was a shitty day.
Dude,
that's what I was thinking. And I was like, I still caught like 6 fish.
Dude,
like, it wasn't that bad.
It's
but
because of where we've been, though. Like,
yeah.
Come on, dude.
It's almost like if I don't, because we were going like hours without catching a fish. And I'm like, it's so slow. It's so slow. But realistically, everybody caught fish. Nobody skunked. Everybody caught multiple fish. But it was a lot of hours. Like, it was a long day to grind.
You've been spoiled. Let me just tell. We all have been spoiled very much with what we've got. So
I'm used to just
Saturdays a day.
Like, if I don't catch a fish in like 15 minutes, you're like, oh, that is terrible fishing.
Is that what you were saying the whole time?
Dude, we went like,
I know
we had a couple hours stress.
You went to San Diego Bay. You went all the way around.
We launched in Mission Bay. We went to La Jolla and we went all the way down to San Diego Bay. We fished all the Point Loma.
That's crazy, dude.
All my secret spots, but they produced like not a lot, but. So when I got back to the dock, there was people that skunked out. Because I talked to them and they were like, oh, we didn't catch anything. So it was like, I knew it was a rough day. But we still got on them. We still sent Benji home with some fish, some sculpin.
Oh, yeah.
We had some rockfish. It was weird. We didn't catch a lot of fish, but we caught like all species of fish.
Oh, yeah.
We caught a barracuda. We caught sculpin. We caught calico, sand bass. We got a rockfish. We caught a cabezon.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like a lot, but for some reason it was like we were
catching good.
On I think they were all in like the 60 gram.
Oh yeah,
all in the submission. Yeah, all in the jigs and not a lot of fish, but a bunch of different fish, which was kind of weird. And we couldn't pin down like where they were. And but every time we thought like it was gonna get hot, like we'd catch 2 in a row, and we're like, oh, here we go, we found the spot, and then it would just die again. So we'd get the 2.
They were talking.
It was just
to each other
back on the grind, man. It was a rough day. Water was cold. Water was freezing. We had like the red tide was in La Jolla. So as we went south, it actually cleared up quite a bit. It got a lot more clear. But then as we were heading back, it got all brown again. So it was definitely moving south, that cold water. But it was still fun. It was a good time. Benji caught the first fish. And we caught early too. He caught one in probably like our first like 5 minutes. And then I caught one and then it was like
dead
Slow. Again, yeah.
There was probably a window of time they were biting.
Yeah, dude, red tide, it was rough. That's true, man. All right, man. Peace out. Good seeing you. All right, guys. I guess we'll roll it up. Unless you guys have anything else, Kevin. You have anything else you want to hit on?
Keep an eye on the stories for Submission Fishing Company and Fishing Reps in Taipan on Saturday, which is 2 days from now, because we're gonna go fish that Southwestern Rockfish tournament. And it's a 6:30 launch past the jetty, and then it's a 4 p.m. weigh-in, and
biggest fish one
per
fish
person,
biggest fish, and then
biggest bag for boat,
5 fish for the boat.
Yeah.
So wish us luck. See if we can get a sweep. We had 1, 2, and 4 last time. We're gonna try to go 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, good stuff, guys. Yeah, awesome. Again, Benji, thank you for the $50 donation, and we won't tell your wife. Hide the credit card. But I appreciate it, man. It was awesome fishing with you. I mean, I almost think you should save the $50 and go buy a new knife, but we'll take it. Maybe I'll buy a knife for you, and we'll take it on the boat.
There you go.
All right, man.
That's a good deal.
Good night, everybody. Go out there and fish. I think fishing's getting better, so hopefully we got that a terrible week out of our system. All right, guys. Until next time, get your black belts in fishing. We'll see you next Thursday. Oos.